Hello, everybody. My name is Jade Brimfield. I'm a super proud regional vice president and independent consultant, of course, with this amazing company called Arbon. I've actually had an Arbon business for about 7.5 years, which people have said this all the time, just blows my mind because how quickly 7.5 years has just passed. I've had the best time. I've experienced the biggest growth. I've experienced like the ups, the downs, the bads, the goods, the incredibles, and just the most exhilarating transformational time with this business. I can't tell you if you're new to this business or whether you've been in it a while, there's a reason why you're here, whether it's been 5 minutes or 5 years, you're still here and you've stayed. And honestly, Arbonne has this magical something that just keeps you wanting to be a part of it. And for me, that encompasses a whole range of different things, the community and the people that genuinely have your back and care for you. And that sounded a bit, if I'm honest, a bit weird at the start, like some kind of tribe. But in the world when we're mums and we have a lot of stuff going on and stresses and, fast-paced life, having people that are really wanting you to succeed for you, not just, got your back or a shoulder to cry on, like just still cheering you on to be better for you is really, really powerful because it's so easy to speak to people outside of our bond that let you off the hook, and not in a way where we need to be hard on ourselves, but they don't necessarily have other goals. And it's just, kind of navigating through life. Whereas with this, we're navigating through life, but we're also wanting to better ourselves. And there's a difference. And I think that's what our community gives us. Other things like the trips, the income, the Arbonne just gives you opportunity. And I think there are so many other jobs and situations that don't offer you those same opportunities that keep you alive. And for me, I think as my children are getting older, I know, in maybe 10, 12 years, they're not going to want me. They're not going to need me anymore. And I think it's important that we have something for us during, before, after, whatever it may be. And Arbonne is just amazing in my eyes. I am an absolute lifer. Now, I heard about Arbonne 7.5 years ago. My background was very corporate. I used to work in buying and account management. And basically that meant I sourced homeware products for the main homeware stores like Next, House of Fraser, things like that. I loved it. I was over in the Far East, back here, but ultimately I came to a decision when I had children. I had to make a decision whether I was going to go back into that fast-paced life and not be present at all with my child and work full time, a lot of the time out of the country, or basically had to make a decision. And actually what I ended up doing was having to sacrifice that career and had to find another job because I ultimately did still need to earn an income. So I think for me, my main passion and what I want to help women with is that there are other ways, not having to sacrifice both things. Ultimately I took another job, took a huge pay cut, lost myself, lost a lot of satisfaction. I was in a soulless job, being honest. And for me, I just started to realize, or really started to think, what is life? What am I going to be doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years? Is this going to be it now? But just because I'm a mom, I have to like settle or, you know, compromise. And I hated that feeling, and it's not good for anybody. And I think it can knock a lot of confidence in females. It certainly did for me until I found Arbonne. And ultimately I thought, oh my gosh, another extra thing. The whole idea of me working part-time hours was to spend time with my child. How can I fit another thing in? But really, Arbonne's not like traditional jobs. It's not like traditional employment. You really do have the time to fit and squeeze it in because you want to, because it's for you, because it's different and it's fun and it's creative and it's new and you're learning. And I just love that about Arbonne. And actually, it got to the point where I was like, I just want to do more. I want to do more. And I got so hungry that, I built my business to the second level in 6 months. And then we went on to region after 20 months of starting. And for me, that was like when I hit that level, I kind of, the whole goal was to be able to leave my job because I was unhappy and miserable. And when I finally sent that letter of resignation, I literally sobbed, cried my eyes out. It was like something that I'd been waiting for so long, and it'd been on my vision board. And when it finally came to fruition, and I finally just took control of my own life in that one moment, that one email. Everything changed, and it was just the most exhilarating thing. And I want to tell you that no matter what your goal is, please don't think it's too far away. It's absolutely achievable. You just have to keep focused on that. Do you want to? This is not, some people want to stay in the jobs and they love them. Some people don't. Do you want to leave that job? Do you want to be fully self-sufficient, earning more money than what you earn now? Like, whatever it is, just decide that that's the goal. So for me, I just kept going until that I hit that. And then obviously your goals change and income like targets change and various different things. But it when you actually take ownership and you do it for you and you've started something from the bottom up, let me tell you, that is the most empowering boost to your self-esteem. Like, I just absolutely love that moment. And that's what this business gives you. So whether you're confident, whether you're not so confident, whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, just embrace the community and lean on people if you need that support. Because honestly, I've never been like, I'm probably, Fiona will say, I'm probably the most emotional one out of all of us. But I've lent on people and I've grown and I've learnt with it. And it's just got just to enjoy the journey. You just got to enjoy the journey, guys. Anyway, that's a little bit about my story. So obviously 7.5 years in, and this business has afforded me to have 3 more children fully present at home, every summer holiday, every school pickup, every drop off. Like, might sound like the nightmare to some people, but really, like, I sometimes have to pinch myself when I'm moaning or, it's raining. I'm like, I'm not stuck in traffic on a Monday morning, like depressed. I'm not depressed on a Sunday night, worried about what I've got to do for work. Everything is so incredible, and every day I can choose to like do what it is. And actually, I'm recording this in half term in the Leicestershire, and I'm actually tomorrow going to stay with Carol, my good friend, who is a sideline, and I'm taking all the kids with me, and we have a little mini holiday at Carol's house. And it's things like this, I think, what friends have I got where I can just go and stay with them that don't have work commitments, that we're just both in Arbonne, we both get it, we can both do our own bits of work, we understand, the kids play together, and it's just brilliant. It's just, you make such incredible friendships, so just stay with it. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my DMO, because ultimately, if you want to get from A to B, there's got to be some consistency. And I really want to urge you to think about the way that you approach how you feel about that consistency, because it's not about what you do, it's about the way you feel about what you do is going to actually get you to the end goal. What I mean by that is, in any job, there are going to be things, menial tasks, stuff you have to do in any job. You can probably think of one now in your own employment, or maybe even just being a mom, doing the washing. There are things you have to do that you don't particularly enjoy, but ultimately it is a job that needs to get done. Now in Arbonne, there is exactly the same thing. There's some really fun stuff and there's some stuff that's just not as fun. It's not awful. It's not hard. It's not like, oh, this is so hard and painful. Like, it's just how we think about what it is that we're doing. And what I've decided to do this year in 2024 is to completely change the feeling state about what it is that I'm doing. So my DMO is very simple. I have a few asks that I do each day, and my asks are very much focused around the business every day. That is an absolute non-negotiable. Now, my DMO runs from a Monday to Friday, and in the past I've done 7 days, I've done whatever it is. But ultimately, I think for me to be consistent, this is the magic nugget, and I really want to be consistent. So every day I ask 2 people to take a look at the business, Monday to Friday, sorry, to ask 2 people to take a look at the business. And actually I was looking at my numbers today, and from the beginning of January 2024 to today, I have sent out 72 asks. Now, when you think about the ratio of how many people I'm going to ask by the end of the year, keeping consistent with this, it's inevitable that people are going to be joining my business from the number of asks that I'm doing. And because it's only 2, it actually doesn't feel hard. Now, the best thing about what I do is I already predetermine who I'm going to ask at the beginning of the week. So at the beginning of the week, I write down 10 names, and these are usually people that are following me. So I do use my social media a lot, and I'm thinking about who's watching what I'm doing on both Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, who's followed me recently. And I'm using that as a platform to think, actually, those names are popping up. I'm going to go in and ask. And sometimes the ask may be something as simple as, I've really noticed you've been watching my stories. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. And I usually do a voice note because it doesn't sound weird and you can hear the tones very like sincere and real. And I just say, is there anything that I do or offer that's of interest to you? Can I offer you any more information about the business? I really love helping and working with other people. Or if I notice something that there's some similarities or whatever it may be, I will go in and explain the reason why I'm asking them. But ultimately, it's two asks. Now, if you think about that, when I've already predetermined my names, my energy going into my DMO is so much higher because I sit down, I have minimal time, especially during the holidays. I think, right, I've got to get my DMO done because it's those menial tasks that I know will move my business forward. It keeps the household running, like doing the washing, don't get the backlog and things will just go to pot. So I go in, I'm like, do you know what? I can send a voice note in 60 to 90 seconds. I can send my second voice note in 60 to 90 seconds. Within 3 minutes to 3 to 4 minutes, I've done my business asks. So when we start thinking, oh my God, it's taken me all day, it's procrastination. It is honestly procrastination, and I still have to fight it today. 7 years in, I'm no expert. But if you can really get organized with a plan, when you actually come to do those daily things, it's really not hard. And because I write my names down in dates, I then can go back after I've done my ask and think, who did I ask a few days ago? Did they reply? Can I follow up? Hey, did you get my message? Or maybe there's someone I did send some information to because they said yes to, and I need to follow up with them. So I can look back through my names, the last week, and cross people off who don't want to be contacted, or people who I can follow up with in 6 months. I've put them forward. It's a really simple DMO. And actually, the way I feel about doing those things now is completely different. In fact, I'm excited to get it done. I'm excited, like, I can't believe I've done 72 asks. It's like, I'm buzzing. And honestly, that is the energy around it. So that would be my top tip, is not feeling, and it may be one for you. One ask a day is like, I don't know how many, if you did it 5 days a week, it's not going to be 365. I don't know, maybe 300. That's a lot of asks. Like, when was the last time you did anything like that? 20 asks a month it would be. When was the last time you ever did anything like that in the last year? And probably you didn't ask 20 people even in a year. So really think about one a day. Can you do that? And be really brave and really think about what you're offering somebody. You're offering them a solution. And I would say, when you're asking the question, my top tip is, don't ask the question based on don't share, like, ask the question based on your own feeling about your own success story in Arbonne. Because half the time we end up not asking people because we think we should be at a level further on than where we're at. So then we don't ask people. And we think we need to get to that level in order to do it. It isn't going to happen. That honestly is so backward. Whenever people say to me, I need to just be nailing my 2,500 building block, and then I feel like I can show someone else to do that. You can do that, but you are going the long game around. And then all you're doing is showing your next prospect or the next person who joins your team that method. And everything is going to feel really slow and hard. And ultimately, your prospects want to see you moving quickly. And that's when they want to join. I never, ever hit my 2,500 building block, probably in the first year to 2 years of me doing my business, because I was always sponsoring, and a lot of my energy and time whilst I was looking after my own clients was going into helping new consultants get their clients. That's what network marketing is. So yes, we want to nail the 2,500 building block eventually. And that will come from you being consistent on social media, being consistent in following up with your clients, being consistent with sending out sample packs. There's so much you can do. Please don't think you don't know where to go now. If there's products in your home, get them out. Like, then they don't belong in your cupboard. They need to be out working for you. That is income producing activity. And the same thing with asking people for testimonials or to trial things, or, asking someone who's liked a comment about Green Gut Glow if they're open to getting more information about it. There's still room for us to expand in our own personal 2,500 building block. But the main growth will be from you talking to people about the business. And we've definitely, if you've been in the business for longer than 6 months, we were a little bit product heavy, myself included. So now it's just getting ourselves to turn back to think, business deserves to grow, Arbonne deserves to grow, and the way that we're going to multiply and grow and get more people using these products and experience in our community is by talking about the business opportunity. So don't share your own experience about Arbonne. You need to share the Arbonne story. You need to share what is possible and what's probable. When I first started, I hadn't wasn't district manager, I hadn't done anything. I was like literally in, and I was talking to people about, I need to tell you about this opportunity. I've just started. I'm so excited. Like, I had no proof. They hadn't seen me grow or earn anything, but I was like, you can earn between whatever is on our DA. I think it's like £50 to £800 at the first level, up to £800 at the first level, by the way, which is more than achievable for anybody to get to district manager. Like, that is something to be shouting about. So that's what I was saying, and I was like, and then region is this to this, and nation. Like, there was no like doubt that I was going to be a national vice president. So please, 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 every Wednesday, my top tip will be listen to the DAs that are online. You've got a new VP every single Wednesday delivering that presentation. You want to be an absolute pro. And when someone says to you, oh, what's this Arbonne thing you're doing? Well, first of all, I don't tell them the whole story there and then, especially if I'm out or having drinks or in a bar. But I do say I'd love to share it with you later. And actually, when someone asks me, I'm so much more confident about saying what it is. Where at the start, you're a bit like, oh, what's this thing? And I'm kind of doing it on the side and, oh, gonna see how it goes. And actually, when you listen to those business presentations, you're just so set in concrete, like, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Like, you are literally on fire because you just feel so excited. And you know what? That was the energy that carried me to area and region quickly, because I was just like, I know where I'm going. I know what I want. I wanted to get rid of that job. So, you've got to keep connected would be another top tip. So ways that I network, because ultimately you're only going to have so many people that are watching your stories, and that is going to run dry unless you're expanding your network. So there are so much you can do in person, and I'm sure this has been covered, but please just remember the obvious. Like, have you got kids? Do you go to kids' parties, or do you send your husband? Or like, do you just go and sit there on your phone and you're like, oh, can't be arsed with this, can't wait to get home and do my jobs? Or are you like, okay, I'm somewhere I don't necessarily want to be, but I can use this to my advantage. Smile, like, and you might just have to have a word with yourself in the car and just be like, come on, Jade, sort your life out. And then you like go into the soft play, and you're like, and like you're smiling, and just be that energy that people want. Like, I want people to look at me and think, she's got it all together. I don't, but I want people to be like, she's smiling, she must be stressful, but she's just got a good energy. I want people to be drawn to me. So have a word with yourself, and don't be obviously fake. Don't walk in kissing and cuddling everyone if that's not your personality, but there is a different energy when you can walk in and be personable and start conversation and compliment, and actually grab that mum's name that you always like nod and smile at when you walk past them in the playground, but you don't actually know her name, and then have a chat, and then add her on social media afterwards, find her. So then they're watching you. You don't even need to necessarily go in with the business or the products straight away. If it doesn't come up in conversation, you don't want to be weird, but they can start following you and get an idea. And that's when really social media, I think, plays a huge part, because that builds this brand around you about who you are and what you are. So, parties, gyms, can you change your gym class maybe? There's probably mums that the football or dancing that you speak to maybe at the sidelines, but you might not be friends with on Instagram or Facebook. Add them on all social media platforms if you're already talking to them, because then they can watch and follow, and it creates conversation when they next speak to them, like, what's that greens drink you're having? And you can talk about it. So that's a really good one. And I think it's something that I fall short on. So all the time in the gym, there's new people coming into the gym and doing the classes. So I'm always on the gym's Instagram. Who's following them? Anyone new? Follow, follow, follow. And hopefully they'll follow me back. And I just feel like, because I can see they're watching me, you almost instantly build this like friendship connection where you can smile and talk. And I've had so many clients that way from the gym, just from watching and seeing that I'm consistent with my social media. Now, when we're asking people to take a look at the products or the business, particularly the business, I really feel like there has to be a common, an interest or a reason why you're asking them. But I'm a personality where I won't be like straight in, beat around the bush. Like if it's random, I will, if I feel like I'm trying to make conversation, that feels more spammy to me than it does anything else. So when in the situation, for example, there was a lady who came and bought a yoga mat from me from Facebook, and instantly her energy was just fun, friendly. She wanted to chat to me. I was loving it. Like we had a little chat in my hallway. She just, do you know, when someone just wants to chit chat? And she was telling me about all these wellness retreats and stuff, and I just loved her. She was a twin, so we were like talking about the twins. Anyway, she left, and I thought, I'm going to message her about the business because she's just great energy. I should have said it there and then. And I instantly just went in and said, look, this is so random. And, I would say, I loved having a chat with you. I love like everything you're about. I feel like we've got real common interests. I don't know where you're at with work, but I run a health and wellness business and I'd really love to talk to you about it. I think it might be something of interest to you. And we met for a coffee literally the next day on a weekend, and she's like joining. And I think sometimes there's a way just to ask. It doesn't need to, you can just go straight in. You don't need to carry on a conversation. Plus, like we weren't really properly friends, we were just through like marketplace. I was sending this message. So I think there's a time where you just know, does this feel weird? If I was receiving it for somebody, would it feel weird? And there's a time where I think if I was receiving that from somebody, I'd probably feel really complimented. And there's a clear difference. So don't hold back and don't be scared when you think, actually, if someone sent me that, I think I'd feel really complimented, because ultimately you are giving someone a gift. And I think when you see it through that lens, you're going to feel so much more confident and at ease just asking someone. And the worst thing is just going to say no, but just stay being their friend anyway. You're not asking them to give you blood. You are asking them just to take a look at an opportunity that could be incredible for them. And there may be situations in their life that they don't know, that you don't know about, that they need Arbonne. My last tip really is, if you've been in the business a while, don't forget to go back to people that you've once asked. It may be that you've perhaps asked somebody and it was really spammy back in the years and you were like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe I sent that. Just be real and say, hey, it's me, I'm just checking in. And I would say I wouldn't be doing my business justice if I didn't re-follow up. Circumstances and situations change for people all the time. And I just think timing is everything. By the way, my last message was absolutely awful. I'm so sorry. How embarrassing. But I did just want to reach out and see, how things are with you. Has anything changed? Would it be a good opportunity for me to be able to share the business opportunity with you? I'd love to. And I think just for me, voice notes are everything. Just think you can sound so real and it comes across. This business, I've spoken a lot about social media and I've kind of flitted in and out, but you can see there's no real method to my madness, other than those business apps, which I'm really making sure I'm being on. I'm making sure that I'm showing up. I'm advertising my business all the time. I don't want anyone to think, I wonder if Jade's doing Arbonne still. I want people to think, I've got gut problems, Jade Brimfield. That's what I want. I want people to really know. So you're not repeating yourself. You're not annoying anyone. Every time I go live on my social media, I'm thinking there's new people watching me today that I could help. And I talk, I'm very much about weaving in the products into my lifestyle, and then odd bammy, like bam posts that I'm thinking, I'm sending this because it's real to me. It's real for my stories. What this business done to change my life, and that's what I really want to impress upon people. And it may be like doesn't touch other people, it doesn't interest other people, but there's going to be someone that 100% resonates with every word I'm saying. So I'm saying it from how I felt, very emotive, like why I'm doing this business, what it's given me, how it's made me feel when I've been able to go on trips. I want people to know. So the business still pops in and out, but make it real to you. And it may be that you're like, do you know what? I know I've not actually promoted to any level, but I know I am committed to making it happen until I do get to that first level of promotion. And then I'll be on to my next level of promotion. And I want to help people be on this journey with me. Maybe that is like your message. Be real. Like people love vulnerability, but the fact you've got a stake in the ground saying, I'm really am working at this and I know I will get there. It may take me a while, but I'm going to get there. And because I believe in this so much. And I think that genuine, like realness just oozes out, and people really want to be a part of that and be a part of you for being so honest. So I really hope that helps. And I know there was no real clear category, but I want you to think, Really, this business is simple. Like, I honestly have just got to keep finding new people, adding them to my list, keep, even if it's just adding them on social media, really expand that. Then think, how can I, starting, if you're not using social media, how can I weave in the products and bit about Arbonne every day in and around my life into my stories so that stays consistent? And then how am I going to speak to people about this business? Who am I going to ask? How many asks am I going to do? And am I going to be committed to doing at least 5 a week, one a day? Because I know you can do that, no matter what level you're at. Please don't decide for somebody else whether they need this or not. Because actually, the lady who introduced me wasn't even looking for me. She was trying to get my sister on board. And I know damn well my sister was a firm no. But she, she asked me, and I was ready, and I ran with it. And you only are one person away finding somebody who just wants to go, and you are going to watch your business explode from that because you were brave and bold. Have the best leadership academy. I can't wait to see you in person. Please come and say hello to me if I don't know you, and just smash 2024 because you deserve it.